Are you looking for a high-energy ship, one that offers nonstop activities around the clock? Do you want to enjoy some of the same experiences found on board some of Royal Caribbean's newer and pricier ships, but with about 3,000 fewer people? Then step aboard Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas for a cruise you won't soon forget. Hi, I'm Tiffany from Destination for Vacation. Thanks for joining me. The Navigator of the Seas, built in Finland, first started sailing in 2002. Her godmother is former professional tennis player Steffi Graf. Navigator of the Seas is one of 5 ships in Royal Caribbean International's Voyager-class, which was designed to attract a new generation of cruisers with experiences that weren't typical on cruise ships at that time. These ships were among the first at sea to feature a large central open atrium space, as well as the first rock climbing walls and ice skating rinks at sea. In 2019, the ship was what Royal Caribbean calls amplified, to modernize and expand spaces so guests can enjoy some of the same popular experiences that draw cruisers to Royal Caribbean's newer and larger ships. The results? Vibrant colors, resort-style amenities, and nonstop fun. Currently, the Port of Los Angeles is Navigator of the Sea's home port, and she generally sails 3- and 4-night itineraries to California's beautiful Catalina Island and Ensenada, Mexico, but also offers regular 5- and 7-night Mexican Riviera itineraries. For this video, we'll explore the public areas on each deck of the ship. Stay tuned, and at the end, I'll show you the popular virtual balcony cabin that I stayed in during my 4-night cruise. Decks 1 and below are reserved for crew operations and aren't generally open to the public. But if you get the chance, be sure to book the all-access ship tour, which will take you below decks to view the massive behind-the-scenes operations that keep this ship running smoothly. This tour also includes access to the bridge, where you can get all those burning navigational questions answered by the captain. At the time of my sailing, tickets were a little over $100 each. At first, I was a little reluctant to pay that, but I gotta tell ya, I found this tour fascinating, so I'm really glad I did. Be on the lookout, as I plan to post a video about it on Destination for Vacation's channel soon. But back to our tour. The fun starts on Deck 3, where you'll find something you don't typically see on cruise ships: an ice skating rink. At select times during the day, guests can play laser tag or even lace up and glide across in graceful figure eights. But at night, the ice dancing is reserved for the professionals in the show Ice Skate, which I highly recommend seeing. Make sure to arrive extra early to grab a seat, as it's very popular and the number of shows is limited. Or, for a different kind of evening performance, head forward to the ship's beautiful Royal Theater, which spans decks 3 and 4. During my sailing, the signature production show was, as you can probably tell from the costumes, Showgirl. Deck 3 also houses a small area where you can purchase art, as well as Focus, your go-to shop for camera equipment, portrait sessions, and photo souvenirs. If you're feeling a bit hungry, head aft, towards the back of the ship, to the dining room, which spans a very impressive 3 decks. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the meals here are complimentary. This area also hosts different events throughout the day, such as wine tasting, for an additional charge. You can also amplify your dining experience by purchasing a ticket to sit at the exclusive chef's table, where you'll be served an impressive multi-course meal accompanied by specially paired wines and cocktails. I decided to treat myself to the chef's table for the first night of my cruise. If you're interested in finding out if I think the experience was worth the cost, then consider watching the review video. I'll link it in the show notes below once the video is posted to Destination for Vacation's channel. Exit the dining room on Deck 4, where you can top off your meal with a cocktail and perhaps a little salsa and merengue dancing at Boleros, which features live music every night. If a macchiato or cappuccino is more your style, simply walk across the way where you can get your daily Starbucks fix. Now, you're just steps away from Casino Royale, so why not wander inside and test your luck? In addition to slot machines, there's also plenty of table games to choose from. Exit on the other side and you can celebrate your big win at the nautical-themed Schooner Bar. Just across is Hooked Seafood, which specializes in everything from ceviche and soft-shell crabs to drunken mussels and whole Maine lobsters. Hooked is open each night for dinner, as well as for lunch on some sea days. It's a specialty dining option, so you'll pay extra if you choose to eat here. You can pay the a la carte seating charge or use it as one of your choices if you have a specialty dining package. If you're in the mood for a leisurely stroll, there's no better place than Deck 4's outside promenade. Grab a deck chair and enjoy the passing scenery, or visit the bow, a quiet space that many passengers seem to miss. Once you've had your fill of the fresh sea air, return inside and head one deck up. Now you're in the heart of the ship, Deck 5's Royal Promenade. This large, open atrium area is active pretty much any hour of the day and is great for people watching. If you're looking for a dance party, then you'll find it here each night at 9 o'clock. From tropical house music to hits from the 1980s, there's a theme for just about everyone. At the forward end of Deck 5, just above the Royal Theater, you'll find the Star Lounge, which hosts trivia events, dance classes, karaoke, game shows, and the cruise line's signature silent dance party, where guests put on headphones, choose their favorite music channel, and get those body parts moving to the rhythm. Because each dancer is listening to different music, it's quite a fun sight to see. A small crown lounge for those passengers with Diamond loyalty status with the cruise line or higher is located next door. If you're feeling like another bite to eat is in order after all that dancing you just did, then visit the Café Promenade, where you can choose from a slice of pizza, a pastry, or a sandwich. Or if you're not up to making tough decisions like that, just do what I do and order one of everything. After all, it's complimentary and you are on vacation, where I've been told calories don't count. For a livelier setting, head across the way to Playmakers, the ship's sports bar. Here you can watch the game, or more than one, on the plentiful selection of TVs. If an English-style pub is more your style, then try out Copper and Clover, just next door. Live singer-songwriter style music is offered here nightly. If you or a loved one hosts an elf during the holiday season, then you know that behind all that holiday magic, it takes more than a little planning and preparation for your elf to be able to pull off those crazy shenanigans. That's where the book Elf Antics comes in. Look, even Santa has helpers, so why not you? Get a 5-year plan of the most hilarious and heartwarming antics that have been kid-tested and approved. Color pictures, supply lists, and step-by-step instructions ensure there are no late-night surprises or next-day disappointments. And every idea has the busy parent in mind. Delight the kids you know by gifting their parent this book. Elf Antics by Mr. Elf Delphine. Buy it now through Amazon, Apple Books, or your local bookstore. Links to the book are provided in this video's show notes, or simply scan here for more information. Elf Antics is the holiday helper that busy parents will love. Now, back to our video. But for those of you who like a tropical twist to your cocktails, then you'll want to visit the Bamboo Room, the ship's tiki bar. And a different kind of bar can be found right in the middle of all this action, to Try For, where you can purchase a stylish blowout for those special dressy nights. The last bar on Deck 5 is our bar, a relaxed setting that's perfect for meeting up with friends. Of course, what's a cruise ship without shopping? This ship makes sure to surround you with plenty of temptations to help lighten your wallet. If you have questions about your account, need a new keycard, or simply want to inquire about some excursions at your next port, the guest services and shore excursions area is located just next door. Deck 6 is primarily reserved for passenger cabins, but if you're eager to start planning your next Royal Caribbean cruise while you're still on this one, then head midship to the NextCruise area. The nearby balconies are also a great observation point for taking a quick peek at all the action in the promenade below. On Deck 7, also midship, you'll find the ship's library and card room. Now, I gotta say, the Navigator's library is just plain pitiful, mostly leftover books from other passengers. If you're a bibliophile, you're definitely gonna want to bring your own books with you when you board this ship. And the game selection is not much better. But there are a decent amount of tables to gather family and friends for a little competitive card game action. Just bring your own deck of cards on board with you. The remainder of Deck 7, as well as Decks 8 through 10, are reserved for staterooms. However, don't miss the display of all the plaques gifted to the Navigator during her maiden ports of call. You'll find them on Deck 9. Decisions, decisions, decisions. That's what Deck 11 is all about. Well, at least when it comes to food. The ship's complimentary buffet, Windjammer, offers cruisers a wide variety of dining options. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's a relaxed, casual dining spot with plenty of windows to enjoy the scenic views. Nearby is one of my favorite specialty dining restaurants on board any cruise line, Jaime's Italian. This restaurant features Tuscan-inspired dishes created by celebrity chef Jamie Oliver, who's known for using simple ingredients that allow the flavors of Italian comfort classics to really shine. From starters like the pillowy herb-infused garlic bread and cheesy black truffle arancini, to pasta courses that include truffle tagliatelle. And of course, the mains, like this unbelievably tender Chianti braised short rib and rich baked lasagna. Every bite's a dream come true. And service was great on both nights I visited. Unfortunately, they've pared back the menu since I last sailed on the Navigator, but there's still plenty of deliciousness to choose from. Just one quick appeal to management. Bring back the cherry pavlova. Please. If you're more of a meat and potatoes kind of person, then just walk across the way to Chop's Grille. Serving a traditional steakhouse menu that includes favorites like jumbo shrimp cocktail, steaks grilled to your liking, creamed spinach, and of course, key lime pie. This is one of the more popular specialty restaurants on board the ship. I found the service here to be exceptional. Thanks, Miller. But wait, there is even more. Midship, you'll find the 1950s-style Johnny Rockets Express. For a quick hamburger, fries, or a creamy milkshake, just note that you do pay to eat here. For a quick, complimentary dining option, head to the fast-casual Mexican eatery El Loco Fresh, located nearby. Belly's full, it's well past time to hang out by the pool. And that's what Deck 11 is all about. Here you'll find 2 large pools open to all ages, as well as a community-size hot tub. And little ones have a designated splash area. Choose to watch all the action from one of the deck loungers, or for an additional charge, you can rent one of the colorful cabanas. The Lime and Coconut Bar, which actually spans decks 11, 12, and 13, is conveniently located right by the hot tub, making it easy to step out and quickly refresh that margarita. Those seeking a more relaxed and peaceful environment will find it just next door at the Solarium, an indoor-outdoor space reserved for passengers 18 and older. With a pool, 2 very large hot tubs, and padded loungers, it's a great spot to get away and recharge. And thankfully, there's no extra charge to enjoy this mini retreat. If you're looking to amplify your pampering experience, then take the stairs up to Deck 12's Vitality at Sea Spa, which offers facials, massages, and body wraps. There's also a beauty salon nearby. In addition to a jogging track and 2 more hot tubs, you'll find plenty of seating on Deck 12, along with some great views of the action below. But if you're looking to work off some of those calories you met up with on Deck 11, then head aft to the Vitality at Sea Fitness Center. Nearby, kids have a space of their own where they can make friends with other cruisers their age and enjoy games and activities that are right up their alley. From the Royal Babies and Tots Nursery for the littlest of cruisers, to Adventure Ocean for kids with creative minds and nonstop energy. To the living room and video arcade for tweens and teens who just want to hang out and have some fun. There's plenty here to keep the kids happy, so mom and dad can go off and have a little fun of their own. And Deck 13 more than amplifies the fun. Start off on Navigator Dunes, one of the cutest mini putt courses at sea. You can certainly find a comfortable spot here to relax and recharge, or you can head aft and really get the blood pumping. With a water park like this, some cruisers won't even want to get off the ship at port. Try out the longest aqua coaster at sea, the Blaster. Or climb up, 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 and try out Riptide and the Perfect Storm. For budding surfers, there's Royal Caribbean's FlowRider. or test your fear of heights on the rock climbing wall. There's even a session where you can do this blindfolded. Yikes. And of course, there's always basketball, pickleball, and good old ping pong. On deck 14, you'll find Izumi, another specialty dining restaurant that offers sushi and teppanyaki favorites, as well as the Sweet Lounge and Cosmopolitan Club, where night owls can enjoy drinks from the nearby Crow's Nest Bar, live music, and plenty of dancing. It's also a favorite quiet spot during the day to just sit back and enjoy some pretty stunning views. Deck 15 is reserved for the Royal Escape Room, which you'll want to reserve in advance. Unfortunately, it was experiencing technical issues and was closed for my entire cruise. But I look forward to giving it a try the next time I cruise on Navigator of the Seas. Now that we've seen Navigator's public areas, let's head back down to Deck 10 and I'll show you the stateroom I stayed in. Cabin 1655 is an interior cabin with a virtual balcony, an innovative feature that provides real-time views of the ocean and ports you're sailing to on an 80-inch high-definition screen that spans just about floor to ceiling. And I gotta admit, sometimes it really did feel like a window, to the point where sometimes I would start to close the drapes when I was changing clothes, only to remember it's just a big screen. That's how realistic it was. You have the option to turn it off or close the drapes. It kind of felt like an upgraded cabin. I really liked it. Width-wise, this cabin was a bit on the smaller side, which you really noticed when you were trying to walk on each side of the bed. It was kind of comical when the phone, which was on the right side of the bed, started ringing and I couldn't get to it without jumping onto the bed because there's zero walking clearance between the mattress and the vanity. Basically, anyone sleeping on the right side of the bed is going to have to parkour it for any late night trips to the bathroom. I was traveling by myself, so it wasn't a big deal. I could just get out on the other side of the bed. But if I were sharing this cabin with my husband, I'd have the beds separated just to provide a little more maneuverable walking space at night. The mattress and bedding weren't the most comfortable I've slept on. I ended up requesting a mattress topper, which did provide some improvement. I do think that Royal Caribbean can step up their game a bit when it comes to their mattresses and bedding. For a cruise line that prides itself on being innovative, they're behind the times when it comes to providing comfortable beds compared to some of the other major cruise lines I've sailed with. Above the bed was a nautical-themed mirror, which, along with the full-length mirror opposite the bed, helped to make the cabin feel bigger. 2 adjustable reading lights were positioned perfectly for late-night reading. There were also 2 small nightstands on either side of the bed, providing convenient storage. This cabin's decor felt a bit dated, but not unpleasantly so. There's a lot of woodwork, which adds a touch of warmth to the room. I was very pleased with the variety of storage in the vanity and closet areas. In addition to 8 drawers, there were 2 shelves above the TV, as well as a mini safe. An unstocked mini fridge was located under the TV. There were medicine cabinet-like openings in the vanity's mirror, so you had additional space to store cosmetics and other small items. This cabin had 1 wide closet, offering wire shelving and plenty of hangers for 2 people. Large suitcases easily fit in this space. I tend to run very warm in interior cabins, to the point where I often have to request a fan, but I'm pleased to say that wasn't the case in this one. The thermostat was easy to use and kept the room comfortably cool for the entire cruise. Across the closet is the bathroom. Counter space was decent, with a shelf under the sink for additional storage. The left side of the vanity's mirror opened up to provide additional storage of small items. And I appreciated having multiple racks to hang towels and swimsuits on. The shower was like a mini capsule with sliding doors, which I much prefer over having a shower curtain. No leaking water all over the floor in this bathroom. The shower head provided great pressure for hair washing, and I had no issues whatsoever with water temperature. So overall, I liked this cabin and would definitely be open to booking it again. It's not the same as a balcony, but neither is the cabin's price. I do feel like the virtual screen adds a little enjoyment to the experience, and I go out of my way to try to book this type of cabin again if I was planning on booking something in the interior class. So is the Navigator of the Seas the right ship for your next cruise? Well, if you have kids, it's a great ship to sail on. From the Waterslides to the rock climbing wall to the ice skating rink and the busy kids clubs, this ship is designed with families in mind. On the flip side, if you don't enjoy sailing with a lot of kids, then consider another ship. I sailed when school was in session and there were tons of kids. I, however, enjoyed sailing with them. If you prefer days that are jam-packed with activities, Navigator is a great choice. There's so much to see and do on this ship, it's hard to pack it all in during a 3 or 4 day sailing time frame. Royal Caribbean is a high-energy cruise line. Sure, there are spaces to relax, but this is one busy ship. So do keep that in mind if you prefer a quieter, more sedate sailing experience. If you're a foodie, this may or may not be the ship for you. I find Royal Caribbean's food in the complimentary dining areas to be a bit bland and unremarkable. Not bad, per se, but I've never had anything memorable. So I tend to purchase specialty dining when I sail with the line. As I mentioned before, I love Jaime's Italian, so much so that I ate there for 2 nights out of my 4-night sailing. But I'm not a fan of all of their specialty dining venues. That's why I chose Chef's Table and A Taste of Royal for this cruise. I wanted to try something different. Of course, there are lots of people who absolutely love some of the restaurants I don't, so it really just depends on your tastes. For me, Royal Caribbean's food is mid. I've had better, and I've also had worse on other cruise lines. So would I sail on Navigator of the Seas again? For sure. As I mentioned before, this was actually my 2nd time sailing on her. She's a fun ship for a quick getaway, with lots to look at and experience. I enjoyed my 2nd cruise just as much as my 1st. But the ship kept me so busy, I was exhausted by the time I got home. But hey, that just provides good reason to go on another cruise, right? Thanks for joining me. I hope you can join me again soon in one of these videos. Until then, here's hoping that your next adventure is just around the corner.